So Omar Khan has been the Pittsburgh Steelers GM for 2 years now, and I think that he has warranted a really good ranking as far as the current GMs goes across the NFL because I stumbled upon this article by NBC. I'm always looking at things when I'm on break at work. But NBC posted rankings of all 32 NFL GMs, and NBC actually posted Omar Khan at 19th out of 32. And I'm going to give you my opinion on that right now. What's going on, everybody? I'm Mac, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram. Link is down in the box below. So yeah, according to NBC, Omar Khan is 19th out of 32 when it comes to NFL GMs. So a little bit, I mean, for the literal ranking itself, it probably is like slightly above average or below average a little bit, but he's like right there in the thick of things. You know what I mean? But you also got to know that context matters a lot too. So let's take a look at Omar Khan. Like I said, he's in his second year as GM for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's just finishing up his second full off season with us. Last season was his first full season as the GM for it was the first full season as the GM for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And to his credit, he had a lot to clean up with when it came to Kevin Colbert. Now, if you know me from my old channel, you know that I was always just very gray area with Kevin Colbert, but he was always ranked high as far as the GMs goes. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. He was responsible for building up those two Super Bowl winning teams that the Steelers had in 05 and 08. But then Kevin Colbert became very tame when it came to free agency. He kind of whiffed on drafts a lot, more specifically first round picks. And he left a pretty big mess when it came time for him to go. And Omar Khan came along. And like I said, to his credit, he did everything that he could to clean up the mess that Kevin Colbert left behind. And I think the biggest thing from this offseason alone is that he cut his losses with Kenny Pickett. Because let's face it, guys, we were going to get nowhere with Kenny Pickett if he was going to be the starter for this franchise going forward. We knew that. And we surely knew Mitch Trubisky wasn't the guy. We surely knew that when Kevin Colbert brought him in here in the winter of 2022, that he was just going to be the bridge guy until we found Big Ben's next successor. And then Kevin Colbert reached for Kenny Pickett in the draft because Kevin Colbert thought that Kenny Pickett was the guy. Omar Khan knew that Kenny Pickett wasn't going to be the guy. To me, Omar Khan seemed like it was with Kenny Pickett that, hey, this is your last chance. And if you continue to be subpar, because even if it was 2022 was just your rookie year, but if you keep being subpar for us, we'll still keep you, but we're going to keep you as a backup, and we're going to try and find a serviceable starter. You know the story with Kenny Pickett with that, though. Now Kenny Pickett's gone, and we got a massive upgrade at quarterback with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. From last year's draft, Omar Khan has drafted 5 17-game players from last year's draft. So he did a really good job with scouting in the draft, and now you got 5 guys from our draft last year that can play full seasons. And even with this draft, you get Zach Frazier at center. You get Troy Fontenot on the offensive line. You get a good slot receiver in Roman Wilson, even though I think that was more of a Mike Tomlin pick right there. You get Peyton Wilson. And then, even then, before that, he was being aggressive in free agency as well. Pairing him alongside with Patrick Queen, that's going to be a lethal combo right there. You got some healthy guys come back as well. And the biggest thing that I think, so I mean, like I said right there, we know that Omar Khan is aggressive, and we know that he scouts well too, which really took me by surprise because when Omar Khan was announced that he was going to be the GM, my biggest concern for him was that can he scout well? That was quickly put to rest. Omar Khan has done a phenomenal job with scouting so far. If he's able to get us 5 guys that can play full seasons and he fixed up our offensive line. But I think the biggest thing about Omar Khan that's really big, that's really advantageous to us, his financial background. He was under Kevin Colbert while Kevin Colbert was GM for us. And Omar Khan did a really solid job with making sure the Steelers never went over the cap. They weren't spending a ridiculous amount of money. They weren't overpaying guys. They weren't underpaying guys. They weren't giving up a lot of big, significant futures. And now you're looking at a situation that because he's the GM for the Steelers, we have guaranteed money coming in with a good roster that's still going to be developing. So, yes, Kevin Colbert was ranked 19th out of 32 by NBC when it came to the GM rankings. But like I said, context matters. Do I think it's fair to put Omar Khan that low? In a way, yes, and in a way, no. Because like I said, context matters. This is, he's finishing up his second full off season as GM for the Steelers. I mean, obviously, you're not going to put Omar Khan above GMs like Kansas City's or Philly's or, hate to say it, but Baltimore's. You're not going to put him above those guys, okay? You got to let him sit down for a little bit. But on the flip side, I think it may be warranted for him to be a little bit higher on that list simply because he's fixed a lot of the mistakes that Kevin Colbert left behind, and because he's very money smart, and because he's revamping this team and he made it better than from what it was when Kevin Colbert was gone. Big Ben retires, everyone just assumes the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to fall off the map. The Steelers are done. They're going to be in for like a 5-year rebuild. Omar Khan has managed to keep this team competitive, and he's managed to keep this franchise competitive. He's pushed all the right buttons so far. He hasn't gone overboard, at least not yet. Hopefully he doesn't. I mean, sure, I do expect Omar Khan to slip up on a couple of things because let's face it, no GM is perfect. But I think it's a pretty fair ranking for right now for Kevin Colbert. Me personally, I'd put him right in the middle. That's just my opinion. You ask me to rearrange the rankings on NBC, I'd put Omar Khan right in the middle at 16, maybe 17. That's just me, though. But this is why I'm just saying Omar Khan, I believe in this guy. He put a lot of my doubts to rest that he can't scout and, he's going to be obsessively money hungry with a lot of these guys. He's not going to make the right draft picks. He's not going to be aggressive in free agency. Thankfully, Omar Khan has proven me 100% wrong. And that's why he's the GM of this franchise going forward, man. It's only a matter of time before Omar Khan can really build up a Super Bowl caliber team in Pittsburgh, and we can really get back to how things were with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It may not be right now because the team is still young And there are established veterans on this team, and there are a lot of newcomers coming in that need developing, but it's a healthy mix of youth and experience on this team. And like I said, I think it's only a matter of time before Omar Khan replicates what Kevin Colbert did and he builds up a Super Bowl team of his own. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. What do you think about that ranking for Omar Khan? Do you think he should be higher? Do you think he should be lower? Do you think it's just right? Let me know what you think. This is Mac checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.